Thank you for choosing to watch the Watchman News Headlines video. Our full episodes can now be seen over at Patreon with much more added content for just $2 a month. Link is in the description. If you cannot afford $2 a month, please consider using our Amazon affiliate link, purchasing from our Teespring store, or making a PayPal donation. All links are below. In order for us to grow, we have to make changes to enable it. Our time is valuable, and we have been one of the very few news sources actually dedicated to bringing you honest, hard-hitting, actionable news and information. Plus, for your $2 a month, you do not have to hear me blabber about these links. It's a win for us all.
Bullshit.
Thank you. Good evening, Watchmen and Watchwomen of YouTube. So tonight we were kind of all over the board with subjects. So we did talk about Great Reset stuff. We talked about COVID-19 stuff. We talked about many different subjects that actually all kind of feed into Great Reset. And we also talked about prepping and other various things as well. So anyway, another busy day. I got stuff out in the new shed today. Got the new shelves. I know the little picture, the studio picture here is kind of small in the corner there, but I do have the closet door open. You can see one of the shelves in there. Still got to get all the stuff on the shelves yet. Haven't made it that far. That project is coming tomorrow, and for sure over the next 2 days, most of it tomorrow, I'll have this part of stuff wrapped up and can get on to other projects. So looking very, very, very forward to that. I want to remind everybody that I did release today publicly the infused gummy video. I only did that because of what the video was, and I wanted to be able to help show people how I'm doing it, just because there's a lot of video out there on the subject, but I'm going to be real honest. None of them really honed in really well for me on certain things, and that's why I wanted to do a video so that I could kind of hone in on those areas that I didn't find any videos that did. So that's why I released it publicly. But most of the Patreon, content will be exclusive to that. So, like the shed video, for instance, it's not that big of a deal, but I mean, still, it'll be exclusive. Bunch of exclusive stuff coming up soon. So, that's the whole reason for me doing this. So, even the prepper closet, there'll be a prepper closet video. That's going to be exclusive to Patreon. So, again, not a bad idea to join up over there. More and more stuff coming. And I'm still getting acclimated with everything. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of plans, a lot of projects I want to do. And love to see you guys there. So anyway, off all that, let's get on to headlines. Let me get the hell out of here for the day. And then I got one more day from my week. Alright, starting with headlines from last night. Bucking Biden's push for equity, U.S. states are outlawing critical race theory in schools and public agencies. Ooh-ah. Pentagon says it's tracking Chinese rocket debris making uncontrolled re-entry from orbit after space station launch. Okay, now to stuff I put out this morning. Parents arrested for kids missing school. Yes, absolutely. Harrisburg, Illinois. A mother was arrested because of truancy. So, child truancy. So, literally, arrested her and took her to jail. Put cuffs on her, the whole 9 yards. Took her to jail. I mean, really, when is enough enough? Fauci tells CNN we're at least halfway through the COVID-19 pandemic. Israeli PM Netanyahu misses deadline to form government coalition. President Rivlin to decide next move. Coronavirus pandemic sinks global investment to 15-year low, says a report. More than half of people living in democracies believe their freedoms have been overly restricted during the COVID-19 pandemic. African woman, this is insane. I didn't even know this was possible. African woman gives birth to 9 healthy babies at once. The Malian government says. I'd never. 4 was the most that I had ever recalled hearing a woman have. I never knew that even more than 4 was possible. So, 9. Wow. That is certainly a litter. Germany doubles purchases of Russian natural gas in March. And by the way, the man that impregnated her, would he be considered a super spreader? Just saying. Asking for a friend. Britain continues to be the main buyer of Russian gold. It doesn't matter if it isn't true. No matter how many times it's debunked, Western anti-Russian propaganda is immune to facts. Islamic group Ansar banned by Berlin. Minister says they finance terrorism under the guise of humanitarian aid. Oh, you mean like all the other organizations that do it? New Zealand refuses to accuse China of genocide against Uyghurs in break with Western allies. French Parliament's Law Committee. By the way, I know I'm backing up again. That is interesting. I was thinking about that a little bit. I didn't think about it a ton, but that's kind of interesting that New Zealand would take that stance. I just thought that was interesting. So, especially considering everything in with that Five Eyes Network and all of that. So, anyway, French Parliament's Law Committee approves COVID-19 passports for large gatherings as MPs raise concerns over discrimination. Myanmar's anti-coup government establishes the People's Defense Force to protect civilians from the army. RT's Boom Bust takes a look at how G7 plans to tackle rising China without upsetting Beijing. Yeah, good luck with that. This kind of whole situation is about as volatile as you can imagine. Considering the current supply chains that we have going on. And even if you look at the things that are happening now without any actual, let's say, physical turmoil between us and China, man, I mean, look at the chip shortages and and I have to question some of this with these chip shortages. I don't necessarily think it's all just, oh crap, we'll see. I think there is certainly going to be a battle for resources soon enough. And I don't think it's necessarily going to be things like oil or anything like that. But I think it could even be over things that other countries produce and have, exported and then no longer do so or refuse to do so. It's a high possibility. I mean, if you think about it, if you thought about it, China could cripple us. Not completely, but they would hurt us. All they would have to do is 100% cut exports. Just boom. No more exports to the United States. That would hurt us. And if we don't understand that at this point, after what we went through during the spring of last year, going into summer with the shortages and all of that stuff, and that was nothing in comparison, as if the flow would be completely 100% cut off, not to return. So, yeah, not necessarily great thoughts there. Signal Messenger takes aim at Instagram's hazy user data policies with super specific ad campaign and gets its ad account blocked. A less democratic Asian nation satisfied with government COVID response as public opinion in Europe suffers severe downturn, says a study. The Red Cross warns of COVID variants are running rampant across Asia as India's crisis spills over into neighbor Nepal. PM Johnson laments talk of irresponsible second Scottish referendum as Scots prepare for election. Red-pilled guests only Gothic rock and roll hotel bans face masks, vaccine supporters, and sheep. So, I think maybe you can take a goat, but you'll want to call ahead and make sure. Norway to introduce COVID-19 vaccine certificates to attend events before EU compatible version rolled out. Iowa family denied flight after child with autism couldn't wear a mask during layover in St. Louis. Sad story, and what is disturbing is one of the exceptions is if you have a medical condition. It even states it even in Southwest policy, right? That if you have a medical reason why you can't wear a mask, then they can't hold it against you. A little boy, autistic, nonverbal. Yeah, if that isn't a medical reason, I don't know what is. The boy didn't want the mask on. He was fighting the idea of having the mask on. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. A Facebook oversight board upholds Trump ban but says it was inappropriate for site to make suspension indefinite. A depression rate in UK more than doubles since start of COVID-19 pandemic. 1 in 5 people affected, says government stats. Italian-German Europol operation detains 31 mafia suspects over drug trafficking and money laundering. A global reset needed to fight future pandemics as creation of WHO Research Hub announced. And that's what kind of prompted me to talk a bit about the Great Reset tonight and, talk about it in combination with COVID and other things. Let's see. Oil nears $70 buoyed by summer demand outlook and U.S. inventories drop. Jersey hits back after Paris threatens to turn lights off on the island if French fishermen aren't given access to the waters. India's top court gives government till Thursday morning to provide plan on supplying Delhi hospitals with oxygen amid shortages. U.S. registers worst birth rate drop in decades. Low fertility rate shows current generation below self-replacement level. In other words, depopulation. Stores, malls, and restaurants to shut early in Egypt for 2 weeks, including EID as Cairo battles resurgent COVID-19. I don't know if that's Eid. I don't know. EID. That's why I spelled it out, because I don't know. EU-China investment deal very important, Germany's Merkel says as Brussels pauses ratification efforts over sanctions fallout. German lawyers sue Belarus President Lukashenko over alleged crimes against humanity. Over half of Americans concerned by fellow citizens refusing to be vaccinated, says a poll. Question, teacher, question, if less than sign, if less than half of the American people are vaccinated, then how can over half, which would be greater, the greater than sign over half, right? How could over half of the Americans be concerned about unvaccinated people if not even half, which would be right in the middle, have been vaccinated? So don't get the symbols mixed up there. But it's a serious question. So how can over half of the Americans be concerned about that if not even half of them have been vaccinated themselves? Just wondering. Israel's president gives centrist Yair Lapid mandate to form government after PM Netanyahu misses deadline. And I probably really butchered that name. Cash for jabs, Serbia unveils new payment scheme to encourage residents to get COVID-19 vaccine. World sees U.S. as significantly greater threat to democracy than Russia and China, says a survey. Dismissal of officer charged in Rayshard Brooks shooting death reversed by Atlanta board. Trump rips Facebook, Twitter, and Google for taking free speech away from him to appease radical left lunatics. UK reaches agreement with EU to end bitter row over post-Brexit diplomatic status. Sorry. Can Snapchat be sued for promoting reckless driving? Court says yes, potentially puncturing hole in Section 230. Federal judge throws out CDC nationwide eviction moratorium and says agency has no legal authority for it. COVID-19 mortality rate has doubled among young people in Brazil, Pan American health watchdog warns. Top German court upholds temporary COVID-19 lockdown law and rejects requests to abolish curfews. Biden administration backs proposal to lift intellectual property rights on COVID-19 vaccines. Pfizer and Moderna stocks slip. UK to send Royal Navy to Jersey waters as French fishermen threaten to block island's main port. Twitter to warn if you're about to tweet something potentially harmful or offensive, and says 34% of users won't post after the warning. Twitter bans Trump desk account after Democrats demand censorship. 2 American tourists who killed Italian policemen found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Starship has landed. Watch Elon Musk's rocket touchdown without exploding. So this time it came with the added feature of not exploding. So congratulations to that crew. And I mean that seriously. They have been really fighting that, and congratulations to them. And I want to remind everybody that as you watch them struggle so hard with being able to land a rocket on the surface of a planet and take back off, I want to remind you that they claim they did it on the moon. Yeah. Cool story, bro. Anyway, continuing on. Wrong answer. Big Pharma Group in arms after Biden signals support for profit-threatening patent waiver on COVID vaccines. So there you go. That's the headline. Anyway, I am gonna get out of here. I am beat. I am tired. I'm gonna get this video put out hopefully tonight. So um, if not, it'll be in the morning. So anyway, I hope you all have a good one. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. And as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.